I think this is a breakthrough.
No, it's not a breakthrough.
I think it's a breakthrough.
It's not a breakthrough.
I'm pretty sure it's a breakthrough.
With roughly 500 scripted TV shows to choose from in 2017, not every program could be seen as a standout, and in fact, some were better off being avoided altogether. The Hollywood Reporter's TV critics have rounded up their picks for the misses of the year so that you can save your binge marathons for other small screen fare. So let's take a look, in no particular order, at 5 of the shows that our critics say were best skipped in 2017. THR's Daniel Feinberg begins by clarifying that Curb Your Enthusiasm, which returned after a 6-year hiatus, was not so much one of the worst shows on TV last year, but rather one of the most disappointing. Writes the critic, the bloated running times buried narrative payoffs, diffused the potency of recurring jokes, and yet somehow gave the show's myriad guest stars even less to do.
Wow, that's a pretty strong reaction.
However, despite the letdown, Feinberg remains optimistic for what's to come. As messy as this season was, I'm actually excited that Curb got a swift renewal, he says. Larry David is too talented to disappoint like this again. Feinberg also wasn't too taken with ABC's Dirty Dancing. In fact, he finds it difficult to believe this show happened at all, calling it a weak-sauce jukebox musical that aped some of the most famous images and dialogue from the 1987 classic, only with none of the swagger, choreography, and, well, dirtiness. Our reviewer's ultimate advice? Let's just pretend this never happened. Okay, moving on. Feinberg gets straight to the point when describing Netflix's Gypsy, writing, a turgid, erotic psycho thriller that lacked heat, psychological insight, and also thrills. Gypsy is almost cocky in its refusal to move its story forward, relying heavily on characters doing stupid and illogical things just to keep the wheels spinning. The critic doesn't stop there with his assessment of the Naomi Watts-led show, writing, sluggish, uninvolving, and absurdly on the nose in places, Gypsy joins several recent shows on Netflix's one-and-done scrap heap, making it a very poor and frustrating waste of 10 hours.
I'm afraid our time's up.
Stop it!
Feinberg took particular offense to Marvel's attempt to get fans to pay extra to see Inhumans in a brief theatrical run at IMAX prices. The critic says, for that money, the handful of viewers tricked into shelling out hard-earned dough were treated to a few beautiful establishing shots of Hawaii, an acceptable computer-generated dog, and one of the year's worst broadcast TV pilots. Still, he writes, there was a silver lining. Marvel bilking viewers for the early chance to see this pile of wooden acting, confusing characterizations, and dumb plotting would make me angry, except that nobody saw it. Very few people watched it for free either. According to THR's Tim Goodman, the highly anticipated Twin Peaks return was a self-indulgent, pointless, meaningless, albeit visually triptastic exercise in misplaced nostalgia and auteur idol worship. Our critic goes on to say, I haven't read a good defense of the series that didn't seem delusional, dismissive of those who pointed out its flaws, or wasn't both irrational and unpersuasive of its merits. So there you have them, 5 of the shows that our TV critics deemed to be the worst of 2017. What did you make of the list? Do you agree with these picks, or do you think there were others that deserve to be mentioned? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget, subscribe right here to THR News so you never miss an important story. For the Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Lindsay Rodriguez.